Some people are called to persevere, to endure, to have faith despite what's going on. I'm one of those people. For you who have never seen me, who've never heard my testimony, here it goes. My 6 year old was diagnosed with incurable epilepsy. And let me tell you this right now, we do not attach to the diagnosis. I say this is the diagnosis they gave him because by the grace of God and supernatural healing, he no longer has epilepsy. But let me tell you the journey that it took to get here and why some people's journey is longer. So that journey started in 2021. He had a seizure out of the blue when he was almost 2 years old. As a result, we had to go to the hospital, get all these tests. They said since this was his first seizure, they weren't going to diagnose him with epilepsy. Then he had another one, maybe in a month or two. So then they diagnosed him with epilepsy. Lo and behold, we didn't know he was having infantile spasms the entire time because they mimic GERD and reflux because of the way his body goes. So an infantile spasm is like a little jolt of electricity. So he was having 50 to 60 jolts a day. I was taking him to the doctor because I realized something was not right. What was going on? He was also nonverbal and he's immobile. Those things haven't changed yet. So we're taking him to the doctor. They finally get the MRI and they're like, okay, those are infantile spasms. Infantile spasms are worse than grand mal seizures because they happen 50 to 60 times a day, every day. So it was literally frying his brain. If you want to think of what it does neurologically, think of a stroke victim. So my baby was nonverbal, but he said, Dad, Dad. He said that the seizures, the infantile spasms, which are a classification of a seizure, took his ability to say dada. I didn't hear my son's voice for a year. He did not smile. He did not laugh. He did not babble because the infantile spasms fried his brain. He used to could get up. We had him in physical therapy. He was learning how to pass things. He could get up on his own, get up and stand from the floor and hold on to the couch. He could do all these things. The infantile spasm caused a reversal, not a reversal. I can't think of the word. You know what I'm talking about. It caused him to revert back. That's not the word either. Digress. Regression. Oh my God. It caused regression. So he went back to the age of 6, 7 months old. And because the infantile spasms did this job on him, and he had he also had the grand mal seizures, which are now called tonic-clonic, because you can have tonic or clonic, or you can have both. He had those also. He was having those once or twice a month from 2021 until the Lord healed him. They upgraded it to Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which is incurable epilepsy, because once you have 2 or more seizures and you've went through a class of medications, 7 to be exact, that did not work, he was upgraded. And what the neurologist said, who was going to catch my fade, she said, eventually he's going to not know how to breathe and die. The devil is a lie. So that's when my faith went in supercharged. I said, Lord, they already gave up on my baby. They saying that he's just going to get worse. So now you're saying his brain doesn't no longer know how to work, so he's going to get worse? Bet. So my faith went into supercharge. I started to declare and proclaim what I did not see. I started to call him healed. I started to detach from the diagnosis and say they diagnosed him with that. They did this. He has been hospitalized so many times because he also has high aspiration. So what am I saying by sharing this testimony? Some of us are going to endure. He still cannot talk or walk yet. He has been healed of epilepsy, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. My baby doesn't have that no more, and that is because of what Christ did in him. Christ said in the last days he will pour out his spirit. So I am living proof of what it means to endure. A lot of people share their story when they've already made it through. They don't share the ins and out, the tears. You guys have seen all of that on this journey. You've seen him be in the hospital. You've seen them say this, that, and the other. I've shared all of this because I want you to know what faith in action looks like. It's easy to have faith when everything is going right. But it's so difficult to have faith when your reality is contradictory to what you're speaking. But that is the basis of faith. I don't care what the doctor says. If I did, then I'm giving in to a death sentence. But Jesus said he came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So I am declaring life over my baby. I'm declaring healing. I call him my walking, talking baby every day. He has tennis shoes because if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and God decides to heal him, and tell me to put on his shoes, Caden, get up and walk. I'm ready because my faith has accepted what God says about him, not what man says. So despite what I see, my faith calls me to call on those things that be not as though they were, meaning I'm calling on something that's not really happening. That's faith. And you get desperate when the doctors tell you that your little baby is going to eventually not know how to breathe and die. If we were in person, I probably would have mollywopped her, honestly, because she was prideful. Neurologists are prideful, and I've been dealing with them for the longest. He has a good one now from Chalk. But Kaiser, so she took pride in telling me, because we just like, no, that don't make sense. Test. And they do black patients different. How do I know? Because my coworker sister, who's not black, she got all these tests that I never heard of when I was with Kaiser. I get to Chalk, they test the test, okay? So what did I do and say all that for? Some people are here for last days because times are going to get hard. And it's hard to receive something from someone who ain't going through nothing, who ain't been through nothing. It's hard to, well, how would you know? You've been blessed all your life. You ain't never struggled. You ain't this. It's easy to have faith. But take it from somebody with struggle after struggle that still trusts God and have faith and is not wavering. And it's definitely not based on what he's doing for me. It's based on who he is. And I trust him. And I'm going to stand on his word and encourage others. Don't give up. Don't give up. When I have my clients that come to me and they're like, you don't understand. Wait, slow down, hold up. I do. I understand. My baby is this, that, and the other. I was having sessions at the Ronald McDonald House last year. I'm a Zoom therapist. I was having sessions while my baby was in the hospital in 2024 for 3 weeks because he got double pneumonia and he could not breathe. But I was still working, still preaching, literally going to services and preaching because I was letting the enemy know, I don't care what you try. My God is greater and I have faith in who he is. And that's the type of faith we're going to need when we are faced with trials and tribulations and everybody gives up on us. God doesn't. And he wants us to turn to his word and trust him. I know this was long, but you got to persevere. Somebody's waiting on your testimony despite what's going on.